I had a client last year, 44 years old, runs a company, trains 5 days a week, eats clean, tracks everything. And when he came to me, he said, I don't get it. I'm doing everything right and nothing is changing. He wasn't lying. He was doing everything right for 28 years old. The problem is, he is not 28 anymore. And the rules changed about a decade ago, but nobody told him. I'm Andrii, I'm 40, I work with the executives and the busy professionals who are doing all the right things and still not getting results. And today, I'm going to walk you through the 5 mistakes I see almost every single week. Not theory, not stuff I read online, the stuff I see in real people with the real jobs and the real lives. One of these is probably costing you right now. You're eating too little. This is the one nobody expects. You would think that eating less means losing more. You could cut calories hard, losing weight fast, bones back, no problem. And at 25, honestly, that was kind of true. At 40, your body reads that differently. When you cut calories too aggressively, and I'm talking about the people eating 12, 14 calories while working 10 hours days, your body doesn't think, great, let's burn fat. It thinks, something is wrong, let's slow everything down and hold on to what we have. Cortisol goes up, thyroid output drops, testosterone drops, your metabolism slows down too much, what you're giving it. And here's the part that makes it worse. You lose muscle. Not just fat, muscle. And after 40, muscle is the hardest thing you get back. I had a client who had been eating 1,300 calories for almost a year. Busy schedule, skip breakfast every day, small lunch, one real meal at night. She was exhausted, couldn't lose the last 10 pounds, and her sleep was terrible. We increased her calories, not by a little, by about 500 calories a day. More protein in the morning, real lunch, but she was scared. She thought she would gain weight immediately. She lost 4 pounds in the first month, not because she ate less, because her body finally had enough fuel to let go. If you're under-eating and overworking, your body is not going to reward that. It's going to protect itself. And protection means holding on to fat, especially around midsection. Too much cardio, not enough lifting. Second mistake, and this one is everywhere. People over 40 default to cardio, running, cycling, elliptical classes, because that's what we were taught. Burn calories, lose fat. But here's the problem. After 40, you already losing muscle. It's called sarcopenia, roughly 3 to 5% per decade if you're not actively fighting it. And cardio does not fight it. In some cases, too much cardio actually accelerates it. More importantly, muscle is your metabolic engine. Every pound of muscle you carry burns more calories at rest than a pound of fat. So, when you lose muscle, your metabolism gets slower, which means the same diet that used to work stops working. I'm not saying don't do cardio. Walking is incredible. I tell every single client to walk daily. But if your gym time is 80% cardio and 20% weights, flip it. 3 resistance training per week, 45 minutes each. Compound movements, squats, deadlift, presses, rows. There is the minimum effective dose to maintain and build muscle after 40. And before anyone says, I don't want to get bulky, you won't. Building significant muscle after 40 is hard. That's the whole point. You have to fight for every pound of it. And every pound you keep is protecting your metabolism, your joints, your bones, and honestly, your brain. This is not about looking like a bodybuilder. This is about having a body that still works the way you need it to in 10 years. Ignoring sleep. And this is the one most people don't want to hear. You can have the perfect diet, the perfect training program, but if you sleep 5 or 6 hours at night, it will not work the way it should. And I don't say that lightly, because here's what happens when sleep drops below 7 hours consistently. Testosterone drops. One study showed a 15% decrease after just 1 week of 5-hour nights. Cortisol stays elevated through the morning, which means your body is in stress mode before you even eat breakfast. Ghrelin, your hunger hormones, goes up. Leptin, the ones that tell you you're full, goes down. So you're hungrier, you crave worse food, and your body storing more fat. All because of sleep. I had a client who was doing everything right in the gym, training 4 days a week, good program, solid effort. Nutrition was decent, but he was sleeping 5.5 hours because he was working late and waking up early for calls. We didn't change his training and we didn't change his food. We moved his bedtime 45 minutes earlier and took his phone out of the bedroom. 6 weeks later, his waist was down an inch and a half. Same food, same training, different sleep. If you're over 40 and sleeping under 7 hours, that's probably the single biggest thing holding you back. Not your diet, not your workout, your sleep. Mistake number 4 is stress. And I know everyone knows the stress is bad. That's not new information. But here's what most people don't understand about stress and fat loss specifically. Chronic stress keeps cortisol elevated, and cortisol does something very specific. It tells your body to store fat around your midsection. Visceral fat, the dangerous kind that wraps around your organs. So, the founder who works 14 hours a day, eats at his desk, answers emails at midnight, and wakes up already thinking about problems, his body is getting one signal all day long: survive. And a body in survival mode does not prioritize fat loss. It prioritizes storage. The fix is not meditation apps or breathing exercises. Those can help, but the real fix is structural. When do you stop working? Is there an actual boundary? Do you eat lunch away from your screen? Do you have any transition between work mode and the rest mode in the evening? Most of my clients don't. And until we build this structure, the belly fat stays, because you cannot outtrain the nervous system that never gets to shut off. The last but not least, using the wrong system for your age. And this ties everything together. The system you use at 30 was built for a different body. A body with higher testosterone, better recovery, and more muscle mass, faster metabolism, and a lot of margin for error. At 40, the margin is gone. You can skip sleep and bounce back Monday. You can eat garbage Thursday and fix it by running Saturday. You can train 6 days a week and recover by willpower. The body changed, the hormones changed, the recovery capacity changed, but most people never updated their approach. They're running the same playbook and wondering why the results stop. If I could give one piece of advice every person over 40 watching this, it's this: get your blood work done. Look at your testosterone or estrogen levels. Look at your fasting insulin. Look at your thyroid. Look at your cortisol pattern. Because you cannot fix what you cannot see than the one you had 10 years ago. Once you know your actual numbers, you can build a system that matches your actual biology. Not someone else's program, not what worked in your 20s, something built for who you are right now. Here's the truth: fat loss is not harder after 40 because you're lazy or because you stopped caring. It's harder because the game changed and nobody gave you a new rules. Sleep more than you think you need. Eat more than you think you should. Lift heavier that feels comfortable. Manage your stress like it's a business metric. And get your data before you build your plan. That's it. No hacks, no shortcuts, just the basics. Done right for the body you actually have. If this was useful, subscribe. I make videos about health and performance for people over 40 who are done guessing and ready to do this properly. I'll see you in the next one.